Again from downtown Jakarta, and we are at Plug and Play, and I'm here with Sara Dhewanto. Hello, Sara. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
It is my pleasure. And now, can you tell us just a little bit about your backstory first of all, and then we'll get on and talk about your business and your startup.
So my backstory, actually, I've had a pretty long career in mostly corporate finance. So I spent 10 years at ExxonMobil, last of head of treasures, and then before I built my startup, I was a finance director at MCA Indonesia, which is a G2G trust entity, so between the U.S. government and the Indonesian government, responsible for managing $600 million.
Wow, that's a lot of money.
It was. It's a lot of money.
A lot
I have
of
never
money.
actually seen the whole thing, not physically.
That would be a big vault that would be in, right? Yeah, okay. And are you born and bred in Jakarta?
Yes, I'm born and bred in Jakarta. I got my MBA in the States, but basically, I'm born and bred here.
Right. And now tell us, how long ago did you start your startup, and what's the name of your startup?
So we started at end of 2015, and the name is Duithape, which means literally mobile money.
Right.
Duit is it's slang for money, and hape is how we say hand phone. We HP, short for hand phone.
Okay. And how does that work? What's the concept behind that?
So in Indonesia, there's like almost 80% of Indonesians that are unbanked, meaning they don't have access to a bank account. Well, they don't have a bank account. And so it's been very, very difficult for people to do just like very simple financial transactions, transfer money back home, or if they're working in another city. And then so what our product, Duithape, enables you to do, it's like a bank account, but it's on your phone. So you don't actually have to have a bank account, and you can withdraw and you can deposit money in local mom and pop shop. We call them warungs, and then you can basically do it at, in your area and make it easier and financial services a lot more accessible.
Wow, that's amazing. And so, is that mainly for rural areas that people don't have bank accounts, or?
Yes, that is going to be where we're targeting right now. However, actually, even in Jakarta, it is still not readily accessible. So just to give a little bit of backstory of how I came here is I mentioned to you the $600 million that of the grant. It was for reducing poverty in Indonesia. So it was a $600 million grant from the U.S. government to reduce poverty in Indonesia. And as a finance director, my job was to ensure that the money gets dispersed accountably, is used accountably, and it was so difficult because nobody had a bank account. So we had the BRI, which is kind of like the village bank, and even they couldn't reach that far.
Right.
So my staff there was no other. We tried several ways. Every time it failed, and my staff had to actually carry money in luggages, put them in envelopes, and give them to people, which I thought was just ridiculous in 2015. And believe me, we tried all sorts of ways, and there was no easier way that was accountable. And so
Wow.
I decided, okay, I guess somebody has to do something about it. Might as well be me. So I quit my
Fantastic.
job,
Yeah.
and then I founded Duithape.
So you just quit your job and said, I'm going to solve this problem.
Pretty much.
And so how long have you been going now?
So we've been going on, as I said, from end of 2015, so about two and a half years right now. So it's been going. There are obviously a lot of challenges. There's a lot of people that actually have tried this and failed, but I refuse to believe that there's no solution.
Right.
In Kenya, this has been the norm since 2007. They have a wonderful product called M-Pesa, and I'm thinking if Indonesia is one of the biggest Facebook nations, if Indonesia, Jakarta is the most geotagged city in Instagram in the world.
Yeah.
So I refuse to believe that there's no easier way, and I'm very sure that the way to get through there is through mobile phones and the internet. But we also, because we know of the infrastructure as well, that there's issues, we also enable it through just normal basic phones. So you have the USSD, which is like *141 *17 hashtag, and then people could just use that even though they don't have internet access.
So I like to use the hashtag problems worth solving, because I think we see too many coffee queue apps and those types of things. This is definitely hashtag problems worth solving. That's a fantastic initiative. And so where to from here? What's the next step for you?
So the next step, we actually tried to do it like one by one, but it was too slow. Too expensive, and then so I looked back and see like where is it, where the problems are, and a lot of it would be the ones who are facing it is the government and also international development organizations, and then so okay, we have to go back and see the people who actually face this problem, and so we're initiating work as well with the government. We talked with TNP2K, which is actually, I think, also funded by the Australian government. Right. So it's wonderful programs like that that try to reduce poverty, and that they have millions of people and beneficiaries that need to receive funds but are unable to do so just because of the system doesn't exist. And so that's what we're trying to do is we're working now with the government, with state-owned banks, and hopefully then also if international organizations or if there are organizations in Australia that would like to get in touch with us, that would be great, because I know it's a real problem. I faced it. I tried to solve it. And
so look, so if anybody does want to get in touch with you or know more about it, where can they find you? What's the easiest way to contact you?
So the easiest way to contact me is, well, our website is duithape.com, DUITHAPE.com.
We'll put the link in the comments.
Yes. And my email is also there, so you can contact me as well. Email's a bit too long, but it's there. So you can look at duithape.com, and then the information should be there, and please feel free to contact me. So
fantastic story, Sarah, and that's what I love about Beach City is we uncover some of these amazing stories, and wish you all the best and success, and hopefully if we can get it out there a little bit on social media to help it, and it gets one contact to help you and maybe take you to the next step, that would be fantastic.
Thank you so much. We really, really appreciate that. Thank you for the opportunity.
Pleasure. And just keep watching Facebook.com/Beach City Life, and on YouTube also just search for Beach City. Thanks again, Sarah.
Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
Pleasure.